Christian, we're almost at the end of what has already been Red Bull's most successful year. How proud are you of the team and the drivers and the job that everyone's done?
Look, immensely proud because, this year what we've done off the back of what was a massive campaign last year with the biggest regulation change in the last 40 years, to come out and win 16 Grand Prix, 2 sprint races, 5 1-2 finishes, over 700 points, has been an insane year for the whole team. That have done an incredible job this year. So hopefully we can finish on a high this weekend in Abu Dhabi.
How are your drivers doing? Are they friends again after Brazil?
Yeah, look, everything was discussed following Brazil. Everything was cleared between the two drivers. They've shook hands on it. They've everybody's turned the page. Lessons have been learnt. As a team, we could have done things better. It was a situation we totally hadn't envisaged, and it just demonstrates that the lessons we take from it. These things need to be talked about in advance rather than making assumptions in a race.
And just finally, we heard Helmut say to Sky yesterday that Daniel Ricciardo is joining you guys next year.
Yes.
How good will it be to have Daniel back?
In the event that Daniel does sign a contract, it would be wonderful. He's a great personality, great character, and he obviously grew up with Red Bull. I think that we as a team have many demands on our drivers that he will be able to help with, and I think that's both from a commercial perspective. Some work on simulation with a driver of his experience will be valuable as well. But let's see how that and if that pans out.
Toto, you weren't in Brazil and you didn't get to enjoy the joys of that 1-2 result in Brazil. What was it like from where you were?
It was so odd and different to what I expected, because after the team won the race and finished 1 and 2, I was overjoyed. And Susie said to me, who was next to me, I bet you regret not going there. And what I said to her is, no, actually not at all. I have so much joy and happiness for the team. I'm so proud of what they have achieved that I'd like to, being a step behind everyone was something that was important for me. I'm always in the media. I'm always taking the limelight, and not being there was the possibility of others to speak, of the team being the sole center of focus and not always me. And that's why it put a layer of joy on top of what I would have been if I was there.
Now, how important do you think that result was, not just for you guys after a difficult year, but particularly for George to get that first win under his belt?
Yeah, I think he had a chance 2 years ago in Bahrain or whenever that was, and what was best is he was really on top of things. Both drivers utilized the performance that the car had in it and drove brilliantly. Lewis was coming from far behind, obviously after the incident, and he still managed to recover to second. So I couldn't be more proud of the two drivers as well.
Mattia, it's the end of the season review time, and looking back on the year as a whole, how do you think things have gone for both the drivers, for Charles and Carlos, because they've had very different seasons, I think, and for the team as well?
I think, starting maybe from the team, I think it has been a fantastic season, generally speaking. We were back competitive, which was our main objective for the season. We had a fantastic car at the start of the season. I think that no one was expecting Ferrari to be so strong, and showing that the team had done a great job to prepare the 2022 era, having a fast car. And then obviously the season has not been perfect, a lot of up and downs. A few things that obviously we could have done better. The car today is not the fastest on track, so we know still that there are improvements which are required. We know that there are things that we need to do differently, and furthermore that we need to further increase our car and the speed of the car, because somehow to win you need to have the best and the fastest car on track. So that's a lot of task for the winter time, from now to the start of the next season, but certainly something that together with the team we will do, reviewing all what we did and try to address. And then to the drivers, I think both of them had a fantastic overall season. Quite opposite in the way that Charles started very, very strong with victories, showing a fantastic pace, confidence with the car, while Carlos didn't have, at the start at least, too much confidence with the car itself, and had to learn how to drive these new, let me say, these new type of cars. But both of them then pushed a lot, pushed for the best. I think that altogether we went through the season, as I said, with some, let me say, up and downs, but overall it's great that we are coming to the end, because it's time for us to look at the future under 2023.
Now, considering that massive step that Ferrari have made into this season, what have you made of the speculation surrounding your future? How does it make you feel?
But Ferrari is the most loved team. It's a special team, and there is always a lot of passion, but as well a lot of criticism and rumors. It has been in the past, it will be in the future, and speculations are there. I had a chat with my chairman, John Elkann. We decided together the best way to try to shut down was to seize voices, was somehow to release a statement that we did, and there are speculations, and I think what more important for us now is to stay focused on the weekend, staying focused, make sure that the team is not distracted, and go for the best, and then looking forward.
Mike, good to see you. Obviously, the last few races have been a real upward trajectory for you guys. The performance of the cars look much stronger. How pleased are you with the turnaround in form, and how have you managed to do it?
Yeah, it was good that we managed to close the gap to P6. At one point we were P9 for very, very long, scoring a point, scoring 2 points, scoring 1 point, and we were really not making any substantial progress. So quite pleased of how the last third of the season went. All in all, I think an okay end to a difficult start. But now it's all focused on next year, after we have tried to beat the Alphas on Sunday, which will be a difficult task.
Now, it's only been your first year in the job, so obviously you now hopefully have a really good idea of what you're working with and how big a challenge you've got. How big a challenge is that?
Yeah, it is. I think it doesn't change if it's the first year, the second or the 10th. I think the challenge is big. You have to deliver a quick car out of the box, otherwise you know that it's going to be a year that is difficult, and in a cost cap environment to make big steps and progress, it's not an easy task at all, and also with the amount of races. So you have to really try and have a good car straight away, and then obviously the task will become a bit easier, I hope.
And just finally, Sebastian's last weekend, you got to work with him right at the beginning of his story. What are the emotions on what is quite an incredible weekend for him?
Yeah, I have to say I'm quite privileged. I did the first race with him as an engineer, now his last. Yeah, I think it's nice to reflect on such a great career, and I think we really have to honour and put our weekend really with him at the centre.
Hey Zach, good to see you. Obviously a really difficult battle with Alpine this year. If you guys don't manage to overhaul them in this race, how tough is that for you guys to take?
It's a bummer, but it's going to be a pretty tall order to grab fourth, given where we are in the points and what we would need to score and what they would need to not score. We're very excited for next year with all the activity we have going on and our driver lineup. So I think whether we finish fourth or fifth won't change our approach to the off season or our mindset. I think this year's been okay. It's we've had our podium, but last year we had 5 in a win. So last year was clearly a stronger year, but you'll learn from them. I think we are a stronger team this year than we were last year. So I think we have a lot to look forward to.
How is the background stuff going back at base? Is the wind tunnel almost ready to go? The other bits of infrastructure you're trying to build to make this team a really strong one in the future, is that coming along well?
Yeah, everything's in place and on plan. The wind tunnel looks pretty cool. It's looking near being completed. Obviously, there's a lot of finer work that it's kind of like a punch list on a house. It looks done, but there's still a lot of work to do. But everything's on course. Really happy with the trajectory that we're on, and looking forward to the next few years.